Welcome back to the Hear Me Out podcast. I am your host, Evelyn Chase. But you can call me Ev, you can call me Evelyn, honestly, whatever you want, because we're basically best friends now. Especially after this episode. We're about to get into it. This topic is about to get a little crazy, and I'm really freaking excited about it. So this is like one of my first episodes that I'm actually showing my face. I didn't even know you could do that for podcasts because they're basically just YouTube videos. But if you're watching this on YouTube, hello YouTube. My other platforms are a little bit more for the serious topics, just because serious topics have a very special but small place in my heart, in my mind, in my soul, in my being. And I think the reason for that is that I'm not a very serious person to begin with. I'm using a shoebox as a bedside table, or a little couch side table. It's got my chapstick and definitely water, not coffee. So we got the water pumping through my system, and I'm freaking ready to go. I need to kind of channel my inner seriousness, and sometimes coffee will bring that out in me. I don't know why. I think it's a mindset. We're just gonna get into it because I think, like I said, I'm waffling now. Today's topic, if you couldn't already tell, is the topic of jealousy. Jealousy is disgusting. It's a disgusting emotion when you think about it. It's not fun to experience it, nor be on the receiving end of somebody else's jealousy. And I just want to bring light to this topic. I think jealousy kind of gets skewed in the sense of we can kind of cover it up with other things. And I'm referring to people who deal with jealousy in different ways. Everybody deals with jealousy different ways. Some people deal with it positively, if that's even a possible thing. Some people try to solve it, which I feel like is a positive thing. And then some people kind of just live in their jealousy, and it's just disgusting to experience. And I'm gonna keep using those words because genuinely, like, the emotion itself is gross, like actually gross. And I think the most annoying part about it is that it hides itself in things, and so you could think somebody really, really likes you or really, really enjoys your company or really enjoys being around you, but they're really just jealous of you, and they'll stab you in the back, and it's not fun. No, it's not fun at all. And I think us girls need to come together, and I mean the girls that are actually girls, not ones who are going to stab you in the back. And that's a tall order for girls, because some girls don't even mean to stab you in the back. A lot of them do. Jealousy is somewhat of a good way to make you a better person. I think some people need to be jealous to better themselves. Some people need to be jealous to become better versions of themselves. If you're jealous of somebody else's gym, routine and like how often they go to the gym, and you're jealous of that, and you act on that, and you go, I need to hit the freaking gym now. Like, I need to go. You're not jealous of the person, you're jealous of their routine, which is different. But when somebody is specifically jealous of one person, that's when it gets dangerous. That's what we're going to be talking about today, because we're not talking about good jealousy, which sounds really crazy. I think there's a different word for it, but I could not tell you what it is. But because I have somewhat of a platform, I would not say I'm famous at all. I would not say I'm an influencer at all whatsoever. Because I have somewhat of a platform on social media, I feel like I can kind of speak on this. Because jealousy is a very prevalent problem on social media. It lingers in comment sections. It also lingers in videos and people's posting, and just like, different ways. We can talk about that all day. Comment sections are super toxic when it comes to especially when they're jealous. You could have like the prettiest or the best looking person post a video, and all the comments could be hate just because everybody's extremely jealous of that person. I accidentally muted my mic for a second, so I'm gonna refrain from doing that as much as possible. And that's the thing. Or somebody could have the best outfit, and all the comments are like, that doesn't go together, that's not it, like, or you bought that off of like some cheap website, like, you know what I mean? It's just like, because of how hyper fixated this generation, especially of people, are, we tend to get consumed by the comments people make and those comments. I'm sorry if you need to hear this. I needed to hear this at some point, probably, but all those comments stem from jealousy. And, you know, they're jealous of something. I had this one girl comment, and I'm using this story as an example because it has a very positive ending, but it definitely did not have a positive beginning. So this one girl, I posted a video, Get Ready With Me for Volleyball. Some of you guys are probably aware that I do those on TikTok sometimes, and then I post them on multi-platforms or whatever. So I posted this on TikTok specifically, and TikTok is unhinged. The comments can be extremely brutal or they could be extremely positive. You really don't know what you're getting yourself into when you're looking at a video and you click on the comments. Sometimes it throws me off. So I opened the comments one day, mistake number one, but also comments have never really been a problem for me in the sense of they're a bunch of pixels that spell a few sentences that could or could not get to you. And for some people that's a very dangerous thing to do. For me, I've kind of developed this mentality that I genuinely could care less, but I opened them up one day out of curiosity, and I read like almost every comment, but sometimes I miss them. So I opened the comment section, and this girl goes, "You're not funny." And I always tell people this story because I think it's freaking hilarious. Because when somebody comments that, like I don't know what you expect me to say or do in response to that. Like, what reaction are they trying to get? I could not tell you. And I think to myself, and I'm like, I don't even know. Should I reply to this? A lot of the times I don't, just because like I think that's exactly what they want. And sometimes I will admit I do. Oftentimes on my YouTube, I will pin a comment that's a little bit on the riskier side to pin, in the sense of like you'd want that comment probably deleted. But for me, I find a little bit of entertainment in doing that. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I'm not going to lie, but this girl commented, "You're not funny." So I was just, honestly, I was like, dang, bro. But yeah, here you are. Whatever. I forgot all about that video. I think it was back in 2022. Maybe 2022, or maybe it was like earlier this year. And so I forgot about that. And then I get a like on that video, and it's somebody else. And then somebody else replies to her comment and says something like, I forgot what she said. Dang. I could probably pull it up right now. It was freaking hilarious. I just wasn't expecting a like and a comment on that video from like last year. And then this other girl says, "Aren't you just a ball of sunshine?" I thought that was freaking hilarious as well. And then the girl who commented originally about me not being funny says, "Hi, I commented 9 months ago, but that was rude. I don't know why I said that." And then the other girl like laughed or whatever. Here's the thing. It takes some serious maturity to come back and comment and be like, "Bro, I don't know why I said that. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. It was 9 months ago." But like, can you imagine how much maturity that person went through to be able to admit that? I don't know. I find that really kind of like, that's why I say it's a positive ending, because not only did she come back and like low-key apologize or kind of be like, "What the frick? I don't know why I said that." But she also was super, vulnerable, I guess, in a sense. And so it was really interesting because, looking at a comment section, on somebody's video that somebody you don't know, and seeing all the comments being negative or positive, whatever, whether you agree or disagree with that comment section, can you imagine how the person feels like that's actually reading all these comments that are towards them? Because, like, a lot of the times we just scroll through comment sections, we laugh, we giggle, because, they are hilarious oftentimes. And, sometimes they're funnier than the video. And I will admit this till sundown. I do like comments that are probably not nice. Like, if I were to receive them, I probably would be like, okay. You know what I mean? So, this is not, I'm saying this not so that we can create a movement to stop, like, rude comments. Because comments and people will be people. Eventually, at the end of the day, everybody has their own opinions. Everybody has the right to their own opinions. Like, you're getting all walks of life, all different perspectives. So, they're not always going to be positive. That's just the way it goes. They're not always going to agree with you. That's a lot of today's topic. And I thought that was a good intro to this video. And because, that did happen maybe 2 weeks ago when that whole thing got resolved and that girl commented back or whatever. And so it's kind of irrelevant to me now. There have been more recent stories that I do have that I won't share just because they've happened so recently. It really helps me grow as a person, I think, and honestly calls for some good content. I wouldn't be, I don't think, making this podcast if something didn't happen that did happen recently. I love knowing that these stories and stuff like that make us better people and make people better versions of themselves. And like, I feel like I've learned so much between now and just like, say, 9 months ago. I have been jealous of tendencies that other people have. I think we all are guilty of being jealous of tendencies and things that people do that you wish you could do or whatever. Like there's ice skaters on TikTok that I'm like, dang, bro, I should have picked up ice skating. I'm not gonna lie. Like ice skaters in like New York, Times Square, and they're just like doing flips and stuff like that. Dang, yes, I do want to do that. Then there's people's lives on TikTok that I'm like, dang, bro, if my life was just like more organized, or if I had this together or whatever, just small little things. I am, and I hate to call it jealousy, but I mean that is kind of what it is. I do have moments where I'm like, dang, bro, like I wish I did that. I wish I could do that. But a lot of times, being self-aware that it is okay to be jealous of situations that people are in, and habits that people have, and things that people have, like it's a normal thing. I'm not saying it's necessarily healthy, but to an extent it is, because we're humans. But I think it's how we act on it, and if we act on it, and how we deal with that jealousy. I used to be jealous of people who went to the gym all the time. I'm talking like every other day, every day, had a workout split, at least an hour a day. I was jealous of that because I wasn't able to drive, and I'm still sort of technically unable to drive, I guess. I don't know, because I have my permit, I just don't have my license. But anyways, I was jealous that they were able to go whenever they wanted, and I had the motivation to go. There's no doubt about it. I love hitting the gym. I love being active, but I couldn't get there. And so I always had to wait for a ride, or my mom or my sister or whatever, and they would always have to take me. That being said, I was always jealous when a video on TikTok came up, and I was like, dang, bro, I just want to hit the gym whenever I freaking want. Like, I hate waiting for a ride. And so that sort of inspired me to go get my permit. And this was before I had my permit. And I mean, I'm 18 years old, so I should already have my license, right? But everybody has their own walks of life. Long story short, I've had my moments of jealousy, so I'm just going to start with that, because nobody's exempt of jealousy. They're just not. Even those perfect life-looking people don't have it all together, for one, and for two, are probably jealous of something. And so I think that's where we kind of get it a little bit skewed, I guess, if you will. And I think that where jealousy becomes unhealthy is when we start to be jealous of people themselves. So not just what they look like, not just their outfits, not just what they wear, not just how they carry themselves, or how they make people laugh or make people feel, the items that they have, or the habits that they have, or, you know, the facilities that they have that we don't. Their house, their car, like stupid materialistic stuff, I guess. Or even like facilities, I mean, like, you know, social media platforms, and like how many followers does this person have? How many subscribers is, like, stuff like that. That's where I think it becomes unhealthy, when you become so consumed by this one person. It's just kind of a confusing idea, because why are you jealous of somebody as a whole? I will never truly understand that, because I'll admit, like I said, till the sun goes down, that I am jealous, and I have been jealous of people's tendencies or habits or stuff like that, or like facilities that they have that I may not have. Like before I started working and stuff like that, and it seemed like everybody around me could afford anything they wanted, but I didn't have a job, and so I was like, I needed to get a job. So here I am, I got a job eventually. But that's healthy jealousy, where it's like you work on yourself to get to something that you're jealous of. When you are jealous of somebody as a whole, or as a person, that is extremely dangerous. And it's definitely not, it's a one-way street, and it's a downhill thing. You're just going to keep tumbling into this never-ending pit of sort of obsessiveness and obsession. And not to bring the Bible into it, but that is something that Jesus does kind of discuss, where it's like jealousy is a deadly sin. And it's something that will mentally consume you and eat you alive if you let it. And I think that happens when you are jealous of somebody as a whole. So something in volleyball that could be a form of healthy jealousy, I guess, if you will, is you're jealous of how well somebody plays and you want to be just as good as them. That's completely normal. I mean, because there's always going to be somebody better than you. The problem is are you working towards, getting rid of that jealousy? Are you trying to be a better player? That's healthy. If you are doing that, that's completely healthy. I think where we go wrong as humans is when it stems from there, just because I'm a volleyball player, I'm going to bring volleyball into it. It starts with how well they play, and then it's how they carry themselves, how much confidence this person has, how likable this person is, how funny they are, whatever. And it consumes you in the sense of, you're stabbing their backs, or, you're being fake. I have no toleration for fake. Like, I just don't. And I think a lot of people don't, and I think that's a great thing, because the more fake somebody is, the less likable you are. It's just how it is. I think the realer you are, the more people are actually going to relate to you, and with relatability comes likability, in my opinion. So, when you let this person consume your thoughts, that's when everything that they do annoys you, and it's just like, and I mean, and I'm not even talking about like if they are personally attacking you, or you feel like they're digging on you or whatever. Have a conversation with that person. If they're not digging on you and everything kind of, and they're really likable and nice person to you, and they're just genuine with you or whatever, like, there's no reason for you to hate like what they're doing and like hate on them, because it looks like jealousy. And so I'm not saying it always is, but 9 times out of 10, that's what it looks like to that person. So they're gonna eventually kind of stray away from you, because who wants to be around somebody who's jealous of them and who is going to like stab their back, and like you can't trust them? Nobody wants that. So I think going into 2024, I kind of want to establish relationships with people that I know aren't jealous and I know I can trust. You know what I mean? Like, that just sounds like the most ideal 2024 ever. Now, that's a very tall order, especially to do in a year. But especially when you're on a volleyball team with somebody, and, if you relate to this at all, and you're on a volleyball team with somebody, you're stuck technically with that person or those people or whoever it may be. And if they go to your school, if they go to your church, if they are at your work or whatever, you're stuck with that person. And so, word of advice to you, if you feel like on the receiving end of somebody who is jealous of you, I think the best word of advice is to not let them consume what you do. They're jealous of you for a reason. You know what I'm saying? They love something about you that you have that they maybe don't, or that they can't have. And so I think it's something definitely to capitalize on, and just keep being nice and cordial to them. Keep being you, because I mean, that's why they like are jealous of you in the first place. And if it gets to a point where you feel like it's kind of putting a shift or putting a unnecessary, overarching like bad vibe to you or to the team or to your work or whatever environment, I guess, if you will, and it gets to a point where it's too much, you need to go address it. And yes, you do have to be the bigger person. Oftentimes, I found that being the bigger person is a lot harder to do, for sure. But it is something more necessary. Like, it's something the world needs more of, is bigger people who are going to be the ones to address the situation. Yeah, don't stoop down to their level. Just rise above it. Be the bigger person in general. If it gets to that point where you feel like you actually do need to pull them aside, do not do it in public. Do not do it over text. Phone call is okay. It's hard to get somebody, especially on your volleyball team or your sports team or your work, to pull them aside. Especially because, like, for me, I live an hour away from where I practice. So I mean, if I were to pull somebody aside, it would have to be outside of practice, and I'm not willing to travel an hour just to discuss something with somebody. Just not gonna happen. And I also don't care enough to do that, to be honest. But I think that in the situation where that were to happen, I would just call them up or whatever, and address it there. I think that, if it were me and I'm talking to you, if you're dealing with this right now, or if you are dealing with jealousy, I think the main thing, the best advice I could give to you if you are dealing with jealousy of somebody, I think would be to do some self-reflecting. And I don't mean in a bad way. I think self-reflecting is a healthy thing. I think regardless, I think we all have some self-reflecting to do on a day-to-day basis. I think it should be a daily thing. I don't do that daily. I should, to be honest. But I think these podcasts kind of help me self-reflect as well and kind of reevaluate situations that I'm in currently. And so it's a really good thing for me. It's kind of therapeutic in a way. I don't know. It's kind of fun. All in all, I think the self-reflecting almost has to consist of, you have to humble yourself. I think because jealousy tends to make us a little bit prideful. And sometimes when we're being jealous upon, it makes us prideful too. So it's like, in general, jealousy, and if you're associated with anything to do with jealousy, if you're religious, pray about it. That's something that I do a lot because, there's always something to pray about. If you're not religious, write things down that you need to get off your chest, and don't let it consume you as a whole, as a person. I think that's where we tend to go wrong with it. And I think that's where it gets unhealthy. So if you are dealing with jealousy or are on the receiving end of jealousy, I think writing things down, getting it out there, talking to a parent about it, a sibling about it, even, I don't know about friends, because friends, I don't know, like, especially recently, I found that friends they come and go, and that's totally okay with me, but they also might not be as trustworthy as you think. So I recommend somebody within the family. And then if you don't have anybody in your family that you feel like you can trust, which I'm sorry to hear that if that is the case, write it down, pray about it, do something that keeps it out of your head, because the longer it lingers in your head, whether you're jealous of somebody or being jealous upon, I call it jealous upon because I don't know how else to word it, keeping it out of your headspace will do you so much good. Because jealousy can, like I said, it's a deadly sin. It'll eat you alive, and it's not a healthy emotion. To an extent, like I said, maybe a little bit, but oftentimes it's not. So I want to let you guys know that my DMs are always open. And if you want me to talk more about this, I'd love to, because, honestly, it's something that I've had to deal with a lot of, especially recently, which is kind of crazy. But there's been a lot of situations where I've just felt like I was kind of under attack in that sense, and a spiritual warfare, definitely, for sure, that I feel like I've been going through. And I'm very accepting of it. I think it's a great thing. I think that, God, and, if you're not religious, I guess the universe, the creator of the universe, for me, puts these things in your life so that they can make you a better person in the end. So whether you're dealing with jealousy or you're being, somebody is jealous of you, I think it's the case for a reason, and there's always something to learn from everything. If you're dealing with this topic currently, I'm going to hear about your situations. I'm an outside perspective, and I physically cannot stab you in the back because I'm not a part of your life. So, if you don't have anybody to talk to and you want to talk to me about this, I'd love to open up the discussion. So I'm here if you want to talk about it, and if you don't, whatever. Let me know some other topics you'd like me to discuss, because this has been amazing, and I think it's been a lot of freaking fun, for sure. And I want to talk about it more. So I will see you guys in my next episode of the Hear Me Out podcast. Thanks for listening. Bye.